Hey everyone, welcome to another Hoodzpah live stream. I am your host, Amy Hood.
And I'm B.
And we are with Hoodzpah. We are two of the four members. Arturo and Jen are tirelessly working. We never let them leave their desks. We have all the fun. No, I'm kidding. I really actually want to get Jen and Arturo on one. I just need to figure out how to live stream Arturo in. I'm so bad at like getting Zoom guests and getting the mics to work.
It's hard.
And when it's live, it's so stressful. So maybe we should just like pre-record it. I don't know. But we got to get Art in on this because he does some great illustration. Hello to the chat. Where are y'all from? What's up? What's up with everybody? What Olympic stuff are you watching and who are you rooting for? I watched the surfing highlights and it just cracks me up that they have Olympic surfing. Like, I love it. I think it's great, but it's funny to think about like the Canadian surfing team. Like, that makes me laugh.
Yes.
I wonder where they placed. I hope it went well for them. But there was actually one of the guys that won, at least the heat that I watched, was from St. Clemente, Chloe Andino.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Our hometown.
So, yep, class of not gonna tell you, St. Clemente High School. Zach Beckman's in the house. What's up, Zach? How you doing? He is stopping by before his Zoom meeting. Damn, we're excited to have you. Ooh, Minnesota. Minnesota. Zach, you're from Minnesota? I figured it was Canada, but they're close, right? Also, congrats, Zach, on the Bucks. Right? Shit, that's Wisconsin. Also, shit, I'm supposed to not curse. I want this to be available for children. Jason Carney, what's up? From Kentucky. Natasha Priya, hey, what's up, girl? She's from Canada. We got Jessica Sissa from Brazil. Ooh. What was the girl's name in women's skateboarding that won second? She was from Brazil, right?
Yeah, I don't remember her name. She was adorable.
Jessica Sissa, if you know who we're talking about, we loved her. We rooted for her. She was amazing. Hi from Scotland, wee moment. I love how everything in Scotland and Ireland is like the wee shop instead of the little shop. I watch Dairy Girls and everything's wee and bitty and little and cute. For Montucky. Luke, what's Montucky? I'm dying to know. It's Kentucky mixed with something. I love it. Hi from OKC. Hello, everyone. We're stoked to have everybody from Canada to Brazil and back. Scott Thigpen wants to know Olympic whiskey drinking.
Yeah.
If only. We were just saying that if the Olympics had a design team, who would be on it? Not us.
Yes.
But it's fun to say. Oh, Bree Pointer, how are you? Hello. So many friends in the chat. So, what are we working on today? My friend texted me last night, mutual friend of the stream, Mark. He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, your guess is as good as mine. But I figured it out. And I think we're going to do another chapter opener for our book, Freelance and Business and Stuff. We're re-releasing it, new illustrations. We want to go big. We want to maybe do colors, spreads, things like that. And it's a great way for me to flex like new skills. So I'm going to try some lettering today that I don't usually get to try. I'm going to do some serifs, something classy and swanky.
Oh, snap.
Which is usually not my go-to. I'm not known for class and swank. But I'd like to be. So we're going to try something new.
I'm excited.
So let's show you my sketches that I worked on last night and this morning, and then I'll show you a little bit of my inspiration. Okay, so there is my sketch, and it says, not easy, but not impossible. And basically, it's for the first chapter of the book where we're just kind of like, hey, if you've thought about freelancing or working for yourself and you're scared, don't be, because it's not necessarily easy, but it's also not impossible, and stupider people have done it. That's what I was going to letter. Stupider people have done it, but that just felt a little aggressive. I always start aggressive and then like rein it in. That's like we were trying to, I thought it'd be funny to make like a little design that said font slut.
Font slut.
Yes. I love all the fonts.
Font trollop.
We shouldn't have to stick with one font and ever be in general. Like, that's harsh. Maybe it's font hussy, font trollop. So we ended up with font trollop because it felt a little bit more for the masses. But thanks for the kind words, Jose Manzo. He says, awesome sketches. Jose used our font Lone Pine in his branding recently. Jose, that's you, right? I'm not crazy. It turned out amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
Am I partial?
Awesome.
Yes. But yeah. And hey Jesse Kirsch from Tacoma Park, Maryland. We have family in Maryland. We used to go to Ocean City in the summers for family vacations, and my dad would bring a shovel, like a carpenter shovel, because he's a carpenter, and dig a 6-foot hole to put the kids in.
On the beach?
On the beach.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the
I know
lifeguard
you're
would have to come and tell him, please, sir, stop doing that.
This is a dangerous hazard.
This is a beach for children, and we don't need a 6-foot liability hole for people to fall into. Also,
not a liability hole. That's the worst kind.
A liability hole. Okay. All right, so with that really long intro, let's jump into some design. Here's kind of what I've got going on.
Oh, people said font floozy, which is your favorite.
Font floozy. So. That's what I wanted. Font floozy.
Trollope is so much more ridiculously amazing.
I like font floozy because I love alliteration. I'm not very clever, but I can do alliteration. I can't do puns. I was texting with my friends Neri and John Contino. Yeah, I name dropped that name. And we were joking around, and I totally set him up for a pun. And he was like, "You got to get better about learning what a pun is." I can't do it. I don't know what they are. I don't know how they work. I mean, I know what they are, but I just can't do them.
I only know the really obvious ones. Like the stupider, the better.
The stupider, the better. Okay, so here's kind of what we're working on. Here's my sketches. I pulled them in, and I'm kind of going for this like Art Nouveau meets like Dido meets like really long serif thing. But I also kind of want it to look like a 70s romance novel cover or a 70s horror novel cover. What do I mean by that? Here's my inspiration. The other poster is incredible. I love the colors, and I love the white outline. I think that's really cool. So I might use that as my color inspo. I also love the stars in the eyes on this Neuromanger thing. I love that kind of like...
It's like the Columbo thing.
Yes, it's like
so
the Columbo
rad.
thing. Yes. And then I also love this Danielle Steele thing. Like all of her covers have like really beautiful swashy type. So I'm going to pull in a little bit of that. And then of course, my forever love, my forever inspiration, Herb Lubalin. I love him to death. And this is just some like really great swash inspiration for me. And especially like this Carl Anthony and Friends, Carol Anthony and Friends. I love that, how it's like 2/3, 1/3 kind of like layout. So I might play around with that. And then also this one from VJ Fonts. I love the really long serifs, so I'm going to try to pull that in. So that's kind of a little look at like where I got my inspiration from. And then I've already kind of drawn some guidelines here. If you just, if you click, let's see, how do you get your rulers to show up? Just Command R is all I know. I don't actually know how to like do it from, is it like file? Anyway, Command R gets you your rulers. And I've already pulled down some guidelines for myself of where the page kind of should lay out, because we have to have room for page numbers at the bottom in the book and like the footer information, like the book title and like website and stuff like that. So I want to make sure we make room for that. And I've kind of broken my page up into 2/3. So here's kind of where we're starting. So I figure what I'll do is I'll start designing it in black on orange, and then I'll just kind of option drag down a copy, and we'll do blue on black, and we'll just kind of see which we like best. And chat, help us out. Let us know as we go, like which one you kind of like.
Mark likes this swoop on the end in the first sketch.
Ooh.
Says it's the bee's knees.
Thank you. And Jen, I asked Jen last night, I was like, which do you think we should do? And she prefers this top one. It's a little bit easier to read. She said, I like this bottom one. It's more like Art Nouveau. So I think I'm going to try to blend a little bit of the two, and we'll just kind of make it happen in real time. I am about to resketch these. So I think I'm going to start by just getting my circle shape. Ooh, that is the worst swatch that Adobe gives you for free. I hate that swatch. I actually deleted it, but it haunts me. It wants in. It's like the Jehovah's Witness. It's like, hello, we're here. Okay, so I'm just going to use this circle, and a lot of times I like to do that, and I'll just like make it an outline, and then I'll just kind of use my cut tool and scissors tool to cut like little segments, and that just helps you get started, and then you can finish it off with your pen tool. So I think I'm going to start there. I've just cut that round there, and I'm going to drag out my anchor points.
Luke Regan wants to know, how many iterations does it take to get your lettering sketches, or do you just know in your head where you want to go?
Ooh, you know what? I've become... It's like you kind of get used to your style, and you kind of know what you're capable of. And so now I just kind of do 3 or 2. And sometimes I'll just do 1. I'm like, that's it. That's what I did on this one today, I was like, oh no, this is going to be good. I can tell. I can stop here. I don't need to do 3. That's the glory of not being in school anymore. You don't have to do 50 sketches. If you hit gold, you can just say, we're good. But before, when I was like still figuring my style out, I definitely had to do a lot more in the sketching phase and try a lot more things because I was just unsure. I was like, is this going to work? I don't know. And even still today, sometimes I'll have a sketch that looks perfect and then I'll go in to actually make it. And it worked great on paper, but it just doesn't work in vector form for whatever reason. So sometimes you just have to roll with the punches, abandon ship, and start again.
Okay, Jason Carney says, the way the butt knot nests into the lower counter of the S is nice in the second option.
Yeah, I know. I like that too. And Jason is such an amazing letterer. So when your friend who's really good at something says, hey, this is a good idea, you should take that advice. So I think I might try to work that into this top one. And I also really like how that bottom one, how it's kind of got like an arc on the bottom of the easy. I really like that. It creates like something dynamic and creates some movement. This one's a little bit more like resting. And so I think I also prefer that one. Are we basically saying screw Jen? Is that what we're saying? I'm kidding. I love Jen. She
is potentially listening to this podcast right now.
Or this vlog or whatever we want to call
whatever we're doing.
No, seriously, Jen. If Jen tells me something, if I don't listen, usually at the end, like a month later, I'm always like, I should have listened.
We Moment says, I know we're supposed to use sketchbooks and sketches, but what if you can't draw physically, which is also me. So Amy, what is your response?
You know what? It's funny. Like people a lot of times will say, I can't draw, like I'm not good at drawing, but it is actually something that you can learn. And B, you've been learning. You started out as I didn't think you had artistic natural talent. That's not to be mean. I'm just saying like naturally, right? Like you just picked up a pencil one day and you were like a prodigy, right? But who does? That's so rare that somebody is just naturally good at something without practicing. But there's actually I think Brad Woodward and Kyle T. Webster, they both have YouTube channels, and they do a lot of tutorials on like how to teach your brain how to see things and how to draw. And I find that fascinating.
That would be so helpful.
Yeah. So I would say like definitely check out those resources because it is something that you can flex. And even like I've gotten so much stronger as I go on in my career. All right, so I think what I'm gonna
Scott Snyder says, hey Amy and B, the sketch is looking amazing. Stoked to see this one come together.
What's up, Scott? How are you doing? I think what I'm going to do is I just shift nudged my N spine up by 10 pixels by just going shift arrow up. And I'm just going to direct select those 2 points and I'm going to go Command J to join them. Then I can make it a fill. So these are kind of disconnected. I might regret that later. We'll see. Because it might be hard to match that curve later if I change it, but let's just see how it goes. So we're getting somewhere. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Do I want to keep that? I don't know. Let's see. I might move this in. Just go straight on top. What have you all been watching in the Olympics? Who are you rooting for? We were watching the girls skateboarding the other day. I didn't really think I cared about the Olympics. Like I was like, it's okay. Am I interested? Turns out I'm very interested. It was so exciting to watch. We were like, it was such a nail biter. The one girl from Brooklyn for America who was also an MIT like architect.
Yeah.
Incredible. Like what?
She's a boss.
She was a boss. That's right.
Yeah, she was pretty good.
Actually, Jason Carney, I'd love to know, what do you think about my tactic of disconnecting these, disconnecting these points and kind of like doing the swatches separately. For some reason, my cut tool doesn't want to go. Let's see. I feel like my key commands maybe. Weird. My key commands don't want to work for me.
Okay, so Natasha says, just keep showing up like in regards to the not being able to draw. It sucks, and it can be so hard if it doesn't come naturally to you, but check out John Hendrick's Drawing AI Magic.
Ooh, okay, awesome. Natasha with that handy, helpful tip. That's awesome. We'll link that in the show notes after.
Yes, we will.
That's awesome. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull over what I've got now and just kind of see where we're at. And I'm just going to, I've made a little, one of my little stems right there. So I'm just going to Option drag and then just rotate it to get my other end stem and direct select that top. And right now I'm just using strokes for my swashes, some of these swashes, just to get them super hairline. We'll see how it works out. I'm going to group that together. It's looking pretty cool so far. This needs some help, but we can figure it out. So I think I'm going to just get rid of that. It's this right here. Getting those curves right can be so...
Oh, wow, it's beautiful. Love it.
Getting there.
Love it. Oh, Paul Transon said, gotta say, it's not intentional, but the square grid on the paper adds so much in contrast to the organic vibe of the font as a whole.
Oh, yeah, I know. I do kind of like that in that. If we look at our inspiration, this kind of like 80s or 70s like space sci-fi horror cover, I think I do want to do a dichotomy of like soft and gritty horror, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I love that idea, and let's do it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now let's see. I'm just going to cut that. Basically going to try to make, I'm just going to Command C, Command F to copy and paste in front, and I've made a copy here, and I just want to make this into a fill. So what I'm going to do is get my direct selection tool, which is A, is the shortcut, and I'm just going to move that point over and then add a point.
Oh, Jackson Fall, he said, rats, he missed it. Are you using the width tool to make the fun flares?
Ooh,
oh, yes. Oh, good. And then
up,
if I read
Jackson Fall?
the next one, it would say, yes, you are.
I'm not right now. Right now, I just option dragged my stroke, and then I just joined the points and created a fill. But I do love the width tool, and it actually helps you keep your path like all in one. So maybe I should have done that. Basically, there's so many ways to do any given thing in Illustrator, so it's just like what works best for the project, right? But I am starting to think that might have been the best way.
And for the skateboarding, yes, Mark in Bermuda could not watch it. He was very bummed about that. And then Danielle says, Team Jamaica.
Ooh.
JJ Fekic. I'm so sorry. That's a horrible attempt. You were just watching it. Unreal. Audrey Stemmen says, howdy, queens. Howdy.
What's up, Audrey?
And Johnny Niddle says, B should do an Olympic-style commentary as Amy does the art.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I know, it was hilarious listening to Tony Hawk. Like, it just was so weird. It's like, I'm dying to know the history behind like how they came up with words like ollie or like nose grind. Like, grind makes sense, but I don't know. It's like, it all is so interesting. I love the name of how people come up with names for things. It's like such an interesting study.
Stephen Overturf. Well, look who it is. Hey, Stephen.
What's up, Stephen? All right, so I'm going to cheat for this O. Usually an O is never a perfect circle or even a perfect oval, but I'm going to start there because O's are hard to draw, and I'm just going to start there. So what I'm going to do is I drew my oval, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend out the anchor or the handles from my anchor point by clicking on, clicking on and holding shift, and it'll pull it out from either side. And then what I can do is I can just cut this top segment, delete the bottom one, option drag down, save myself some work, make sure it's even by just mirroring it. And then I'm just going to join those anchor points by direct selecting them together and then go Command J, and that'll join them. And now we have like a perfect path, and I didn't have to worry about how to get those handles perfect.
And Jason says, that's how I do it too. I keep the stems and swashes as separate elements.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to know it because Jason knows what's up. And I think what I want to do is I want to figure out my serif now because I want the serif to be kind of like, was it Zach Beckman? Was he saying like it'd be cool to add the grid behind? I feel like I'm getting it wrong. But somebody was saying it's kind of cool to have the dichotomy of the grid, and I agree. I love that. So let's figure out a way to like make this look a bit edgy and soft at the same time. I don't want it to look completely Danielle Steele, you know? It's like we want it edgy and soft. That's where you get a cool dichotomy. So I think I'm going to try this first. I'm just going to fill this in.
Andrew Hawkrattle says, do we prefer swishies or swashies?
I love swishies. That's so fun. Okay, Hawk, what do we think? How do we feel about this serif? I think it's awesome. It's kind of angular, but it's got a soft little, teeny little soft edge. So it's like soft but sweet. Just like B. Soft but sweet.
Very soft.
I mean, soft but hard is what I meant. Soft but tough.
Okay, JJ Fezzik. Thank you. Okay, yeah, people used to butcher my name all the time. I get it all the time, so I understand and I apologize. But thank you for your help.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to tackle that O after I tackle the T, because the T feels like it'll be easier. And sometimes I like to get a little bit more progress under my belt before I try something that I know might make me lose my confidence. I'm a fragile creative.
Prax Cruz says, been using Illustrator for years and years and just learning Command J.
Oh my gosh, I learn stuff new all the time where I'm like, how did no one tell me? Every time I do a tutorial, actually, we did a tutorial because somebody was asking me how we do our grid effect. And I learned a new way recently that was like I thought was like really simple and had a pretty good effect. Like if you're just trying to get a quick grid effect for something you're going to post on Instagram, it's like not too precious. And so I posted a tutorial and then somebody was in the comments already telling me how it could have been done better, which it could have. And it's just, that's how it goes. There's so many different ways to do things, and there's just always more you can learn about the programs because they're also changing them all the time.
That's what Doc says in his live streams. He's like, what are we all going to learn today? Moment. I know you had wildfires. Yes, we always have fires this time of year. I've actually kind of been surprised we haven't seen more of them.
Yeah, it's been mostly up north, like poor Washington and Portland, right? And up in Canada.
And not near us. Luckily.
Natasha, are you okay? Is it by you? Because you're in Canada. All right, so what I'm going to do is I have my serif for the left side of my T. And I'm just going to do the same thing we did before, option drag to make a copy. And then I'm just going to reflect it because it's all about consistency and then breaking that consistency to make something interesting. So I'm going to turn off those guides so we can kind of get a feel for where we're at. This stem feels too thick compared to the other stem, so I'm just going to bring that in a bit. What I might do is create like a little circle here to kind of measure this thickness. I'm going to fill it with an annoying color like peach. Take off that stroke, and I'm just going to figure out how wide this is. It's kind of a little bit hard to do because I've got a stroke on it, but that's about it. A little bit more.
Bryce Reyes says a great added contrast to those thin lines.
Thanks, Bryce. What's up? He's our friend from just a little bit inland from us. Bryce does awesome work.
Andrew Hawkrattle says, can you do a tiny vertical spike upwards on the ends of those serifs, like a double sharp slab serifish?
Whoa, you're gonna have to repeat that, and I'm all. What is it? It sounds amazing.
Little stalactites and stalagmites.
Stalagmites and stalactites. Okay, that's being from Bowling Green, Kentucky, as I am. We had the biggest underground cave system in the world, and so I hear what you're saying. I like that. I think that's what I'm doing here, right? These like pointy hangy downies. Those are like stalactites or mites, right? Okay.
And Jessica Sisa, I still haven't figured out the cut tool in Illustrator. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I mean that's the case with everything, is like how to use it to its best effect, because there are so many ways to do things. It's like, which is going to be easiest to edit, easiest to tweak, easiest, you know, the list goes on.
Jackson Falls says, literally every time at me I watch Amy design anything, my mind is blown at least twice.
What?
Same here.
I love Jackson.
Same.
Jackson went from Oklahoma City to like LA's like in the know like guy. Like he knows everything that's going on in tech and like blockchain and like cool stuff. And I'm like, how did you just like completely change your life so quickly? I like really admire people who can just like make such a big change and go for it. I think it's so cool. So Jackson, you're awesome. All right, now I'm really trying to figure out how best to do my O. I want to do the weight kind of like this. And so I'm trying to figure out how I should, oh, you know what? Should we do it real weird? Should we get like super weird? Like how weird should we get? Yeah. Because I do want it to look Art Nouveau and kind of like Art Nouveau brutalist like everyone's doing, all the cool kids are doing. But is that going to be too much? Let's give it a go. Because this is kind of weird. And the only thing is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. Oh, I'm going to fill that with orange. My orange, our Hoodzpah brand orange. And then I'm going to fill the back shape with black. And we're just going to get a quick O.
Quiet Noise said they just bought their first font from Hoodzpah and Santa Ana Sands. And the Z and the Q are...
Chef's kiss. That's so kind. That is so kind. I know, it's so fun. That one was a fun one. That was a fun exercise. Let's see. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is go shift down. Oh, I'm breaking it. I'm already breaking it. Okay, I'm just going to leave that because I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah, it's okay that it's a little higher. Is it okay? How did my thing get so off? We'll see. Yeah. You know what I might do? If I stretch it, are we just going to completely ruin everything? Let's just try to stretch it and see what happens. I didn't actually ruin it. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to actually, if you go eye, that gets your eyedropper. And then I can just eyedropper the width on these stems. I want to make sure that my strokes are all the same. And then I'm just going to do the same thing I did before, drag in the black for the back, and then get my front counter of my O filled with orange, which is my background color. Okay, there we go. Tell me if you hate it or you love it.
They love it.
They love it. The people have spoken.
The people love it.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to have to do, though. I think what I'm going to have to do is figure out how to keep these thin for a little bit longer. So I might have to add an anchor point a few places. We'll see. I think I'm going to go ahead and just drag in a guide and figure out where I could add one. Okay, it's right there. P to add a point. If you click on P, your pen tool, while you have and you hover over a path, it'll let you add a point. All right, so we added a point there so that I can kind of adjust that. And I think I'm going to add a point down here instead. And what I'm going to do is use this Astute Graphics tool that I have. It's called InkScribe. It's from Astute Graphics. Oh, did I not log in? Oops, I didn't log in. All right, well, we'll do it later. And what I'll do is I will just delete that.
Also, Andrew said, yep, exactly, you did it. Cool. It happened before the comment came through.
Sweet.
Mind vibes. You're on the
You are now you are officially my twin, my mind twin. Okay, so I added another anchor point at my other extremity on my other side of my O. I think I'll just go ahead and add a curve there. I'm going to delete this and just kind of continue that up.
Riki says, weird. That looks cool. Weird is the best. Weird is the best.
Weird is great, isn't it? It is great.
And Jackson Falls jaw dropped when you skewed the
oh my gosh.
Like fully dropped.
This is how I'm just like, how can I just cheat code it, you know? ABA, spacebar A, BA. You know, you play Skyrim. You know what I'm talking about.
I 100% do. Yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to, you know what I might do? I might use the width tool here. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just go ahead and option drag like I have been. Maybe let's just keep it consistent so I'm not confused later. And I'm going to get a little bit of weight on this area. And just gonna kind of adjust these by hand. See what we can do here.
Kadu Primola, one of the best things in observing you doing custom type is always learning new tricks. Cheers from a Brazilian designer in the UK.
Oh, that's so cool. I know, same. I love watching people do things live because it's like amazing what you can learn. Even when they're not telling you what they're doing, you're like, oh, what was that? You can kind of like, if you know the programs, you can kind of like reverse engineer it, you know?
Totally.
All right, so we're doing that. All right, so that's looking good. I'm going to move this to the center, and I'm going to turn my guides back on by going Command:, and I'm going to kind of get it to the center of the O, which is kind of like my visual center, I think. And then I'm just going to Command-C on my top artboard, and I'm going to click on my bottom artboard and then do Command-F, and that pastes it in front. And then I'm just going to switch the colors, and we're going to pick early which colors we like. So I'm just going to group that, and I'm going to double click in, and I'm going to delete my little guides, turn the orange to the black, or to the blue actually, because I need to switch them all. Then I'm going to go ahead and select that shape with the black fill, and I'm going to go select same appearance, turn all those orange. Actually, I'm going to turn them all blue. With the blue outline, I'm going to select the black outline, go to select, same appearance, turn those to that blue again, and then I'm just going to make my fill proper. Cool, and we'll see what we think about the blue. Okay, what do we think about the color? I actually love the blue on the black. It's so wrong.
I like it.
In a way. Like it's kind of creepy, and I kind of want creepy. But also, this is kind of creepy because it's Halloween colors.
It's Halloween colors.
Chat, what do we think? Paul Hutchison, what's up? Okay, Paul Hutchison is one of my favorite LA people. Paul does, you want to talk about fancy, swanky type. That's what he does. But how do we feel color-wise? What do we like? Orange? Let me know. Wee Moment says, I love that you choose color schemes that are different from anything you typically see on social media. Do I? Look at me breaking.
What a compliment.
Look at me doing things different.
Breaking the mold.
Honestly, I want to use gradients. It's just like I can't. It's not really my style. I've been trying to, but sometimes it feels forced, you know? It's like if you try to jump on the trend and it doesn't work within your style, it can do more harm than good. And then you can just look like that Steve Buscemi meme, like, hey kids, what's good with the skateboard? You know.
Yes,
so
that's a comment in the friend group.
And I don't want to be that guy. Okay, so what do we think? What do we like? Black and blue, black and blue, black and blue, one orange. Okay, I think we're gonna go black and blue. That's what I think we're gonna do.
Reminding me of that song, Black and Yellow.
Black and Yellow,
Black
that's right.
Yellow, black and yellow.
And what I was gonna do, and maybe I'll do it in the end, we'll just kind of keep going for now, and I think actually my T should be a little wider. I'll just shift, well, we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Select this end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I actually need to connect those at the top so that my stroke goes all the way. Because I was thinking it could be cool if like all the letters touched and it's kind of like this weird connected thing. Like this. Let's just I'd have to extend out that so that it didn't look weird. You know what I mean? So everything kind of touches a little bit. Mm-hmm. Makes it kind of look connected. We'll see how it goes. I'll start there and then super tight, and then we can always move it back if we don't like it. What do you think? Should I move it back or not? Well,
That's hard. Yeah, let's keep it for now.
Yeah, let's keep it for now. Okay, so
it's growing on me.
Yeah,
I think I do like it.
And okay, so you know how I said I liked this 80s cover, this like 80s sci-fi, 70s sci-fi neuromancer cover with the stars.
Glow eyes.
Yeah, so I want to make some glow eyes. It's hard. I might have to do that in Photoshop. I'm just like so not skilled in Photoshop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my star tool. I'm just going to click once on my artboard and it pulls up my little dialog box. I'm going to go to like 9 points, I think. That sounds good. And I want it to be a super small radius with really long arms. So let's try this. Not small enough. Let's go to 0.2.
I think it's good. Time for a word from our sponsors.
Oh, a word from our sponsors, which are us. Okay,
yours truly.
So we're going to play a quick ad. We have a course. If you are interested in freelancing, if you are interested in running a small studio, we've done that. And we've learned a lot of things the hard way. We've learned a lot of things through mentors, through just peers, and just hard and steady research, whether it's Google or books or whatever. So we put it all together in a book freelance and business and stuff. And then we released a course based on the class we taught at Laguna College of Art and Design. And yeah, it's available. So I'm just going to play a quick ad from our sponsors. All right, you all, we're getting down to it. Pricing. Contracts are your bodyguards. They are the Kevin Costner to your Whitney Houston. Passive income. It's the dream. Project workflow. How do you find your product? This is biz dev, baby. Clients. So we love them. We want them. What the heck is a retainer? Branding yourself. We're talking about positioning. Setting up your business. So if you're interested, it's courses.hoodspahdesign.com. Check it out. There's a free preview lesson about passive income. And if you have any questions, just let us know. You can always email info@. B will answer you. She's got all the answers.
All of them.
But back to our design. Okay, so like I was saying, these kind of like 70s, where is it? 70s, sci-fi vibes. I thought it would be cool because it's already so angular. If we did like some stars, like that.
Yes.
It could look too magical, like too Cinderella. I mean, already we're doing it on black, so that kind of takes away the Cinderella. But we'll kind of see if we can do it to where it looks creepy, we'll do it.
Creepy stars. I love a creepy star.
Cinderella. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to not think about the stars because that's one extra thing to worry about, and I just want to kind of get some more forms going. It'd be great if we could finish not easy before the day's over. So what I think I'm going to do is I had this kind of like backwards 3E in my first sketch, but I think I'm going to do the flat E with kind of like the tail. So we'll start there. And actually, I think I might go ahead and just pull down my stem got
Bree
lost.
says the course is worth every penny.
Bree,
Thanks,
you're
Bree.
too kind. Bree's in the course. Got a lot of the course crew in here. They're awesome. We have a Slack channel and we all just hang out and talk about specific problems or talk about specific questions. And it's like so great to have that community because if you're a freelancer, it can get lonely sometimes.
Totally.
It can get lonely out there. So what I did was I copied my stem from my T and I'm just going to option drag up another serif cap. I don't need this serif on the inside, so I'm going to delete that side. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm using the same stroke. So what you can do is go direct select the stroke that you want, and then I have my settings set to where the appearance is always the same as the last one used. So I'm just going to pull that out. Actually, I can just copy this as well. This will make my E. So I'm just going to option drag that down, Command F to paste in front, and then I'm just going to flip it. Transform, reflect. And I'm just going to get rid of that stem I started drawing. I'm just going to kind of push it into where I think it needs to start. I'm guessing it'll be about the same thickness or width as my E. So if I want to use my guides, I can turn those back on and just kind of get an idea here. So there, yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to option drag down another E for my base, reflect, and I'm going to reflect it on the horizontal this time. And I just have to line that up. I always turn my smart guides on. Sometimes they're not very smart, but they're smart enough most of the time.
Right, yeah.
Which is what people say about me as well.
All of the time.
Smart enough most of the time. Me and Jen were watching the This Is Pop documentary. It's on Netflix. It's so fascinating. I know I've mentioned it on like so many things with so many friends, but it's really good. And I didn't even grow up thinking that I liked pop that much. I was more of like a rock or like emo or anything kind of thing. But pop really it covers a wide gambit. It's sometimes rock. It's sometimes a lot of things. It's not just like, Britney Spears or whatever, even though she is a queen of pop. But we were watching the one about Britpop and it was so funny.
Do tell.
The Blur Oasis war. First of all, they were trying to say Blur won the Britpop war between Oasis and Blur. Tell me one person who agrees with that 10 years later. Name one Blur song besides that number 2 one that goes, woohoo! I dare you. Try to do it. And this is nothing against Blur, because when they were playing their songs on the thing, I was like, these are pretty good. I've just never heard them. Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
Jackson wants to know, which I don't actually know. I think I know the answer, but he's been curious about the Slack. Is it just for the course friends?
Yeah, and Jackson, you went to the course, you did the workshop in Oklahoma, so shoot me an email. I'll add you if you want.
VIP pass.
There it is. If you ever took the workshop, if you're in here and you ever took the workshop, you get a free
intro to the team.
Yeah, because I sent an email blast out, but obviously like people's emails change over the years and things like that. So things like that. So what I'm going to do is I also need to move this up a teens. Right now my not easy is really down low and it's not going to give me enough time or enough room for the not impossible. So I'm just scooching that up. I'm going to turn off those guides so it's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. And this E is pretty well good. I'm just going to group it and move it over to the side a bit. And so that end swash, I love how Herb Lubalin does the swashes that create the stems or the legs of other characters. Yeah. I love the like interplay. It's so intentional. It's so well thought out and it's so flippin' hard. So I'm going to try to do that.
Crystal J, first time in the stream and working on a project. Welcome, Crystal.
What's up, Crystal? Thanks for hanging with us.
What are you working on?
All right.
Oh, also, so we have Prax Crew's Blur Rules. Katsy Roman says Oasis definitely won, but Blur won with the gorillas.
That's so funny. I love 90s music. It's like, whether it's grunge or Britpop or whatever, I love it so much. And I wonder if I'm going to be that person who like holds on, like people who held on to the 80s and like still listen to like.
I know those people.
You know what I mean?
Well. Yeah.
It's like your friend that's like, I'm going to see Poison this weekend at the OC Fair. And you're like, oh man, I love it. You still love it that much. And I really do.
And
I'm like,
it's awesome.
That's going to be me just like still going to live shows for my favorite bands from yesteryear. The funny thing to me is that I was such a nerd growing up when at the time that these songs came out, like I just heard them on the radio in the car with my mom, the ones that were kind of like pop crossovers, you know? But I can't believe they stuck with me at the time because at the time, Jen and I were probably in pigtails in upstate New York, Syracuse, New York. My mom made us wear matching outfits and pigtails every day.
Sweatsuits.
The sweatsuit.
Pink and purple.
And she made us dress like Punky Brewster. So I had to wear the sweatsuit top and then Jen would wear the bottom so that it was like purple and purple and then pink and pink. When I tell you it was embarrassing.
Oh, that's classic.
But you know what? It taught me humility. You can always tell when someone had a humble youth experience.
Upbringing.
a humble, non-popular. No, I'm kidding. All right, but I don't know how it stuck with me, but I was like, rock and roll. Yeah, me and my pigtails and my braces were like, rock and roll. That's for me.
Rock and roll is the best.
Okay, so we need to figure out something is lost in the shuffle on that A, but maybe it's okay because our O is weird, so maybe our A can be weird, like the angle's a little bit off.
Like, ooh.
Yeah, we'll see how we feel about it. I think I could technically move the not over because the negative space on the right feels heavier, even if it's just visual. I could just try by direct selecting those first and then kind of adjust my anchor points after the fact.
Dan Barber says, Herb Lubalin, stand for life.
Dan, I know. Me too. Every time I look something up and I'm like, this lettering's amazing. You know, if it's like swashes or I'm looking for inspiration for whatever, it's always like, it's Herb, man. It's Herb.
Herb's the word.
Herb's the word. Wasn't that purred happily? Parks and Rec was so funny. Okay, that it actually does look better. And I feel like the negative space visually looks good on both sides because this little swash kind of, you know.
Imbalances it.
Yeah, so we're going to keep going with that. And then I just have to fix my serif down here. I'm just going to...
Crystal J, working on personal branding. Ugh, yeah, that can be hard. Personal branding.
Personal branding can be so hard. Crystal, we support you.
We support you. We're here for you.
And good for you. So I have to make another swash. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my circled ellipsis tool again. I'm going to draw one here. And actually, maybe I'll go ahead and just start it with an oval because it's more of an oval shape. And then I'm going to draw, I'm going to draw another one down here, I think, like that. Because it's Art Nouveau, they're not all like perfectly round swashes, which is cool. So I'm just going to kind of start cutting these up and trying to make something cool out of them.
Quiet noise. I will literally pay you guys to live stream weekly. I love any graphic designer stream, but Jen, Amy, and B have personalities that cannot be replicated.
I love that B's only reading the praise. There's got to be someone in the chat that's like, these girls are so annoying.
You're the worst. Get off this stage.
Cancel this
Boo.
stream. But yes, only read the praise, please. That's what you get. You get paid to read the praise.
This is why I'm here.
No, thank you so much, though. That's so kind.
That's so nice. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like podcasting, because it's like, it's a long time. Podcasts are usually like, what, an hour and a half? You're listening to
unless they're the armchair. Oh wait, I guess these are like an hour. They're so long. 98 minutes. How long is that? It's a long time.
Because they do the interview, and then they do like the breakdown thing, which is fun. But it's like, even with somebody you like on a podcast you like, sometimes an hour is too much of someone, even when you love them.
Right.
So that's kind of you to say, in short.
Paul Transon liked the way the left leg of the A stopped a little bit higher than the base of the E on the sketch. Might help for the balance.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we will do that. That's a good point. All right, so what we can do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and group some of these elements that are part of the A, so that when I double click in, I can have free reign to kind of use my direct select tool without bothering my E or my other letters. And I'm just going to use my direct select arrow to select this serif, and I'm just going to kind of like eyeball it up. Maybe it goes up to that E. I've kind of changed from my sketch a bit, so it may not work as well as we like. Maybe it goes lower. Oh, you know what? We were also going to do the curve, so maybe that also fixes it. You know what I mean? The curve. Let's try that, because I did really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself a guide. I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to go to my guidelines layer that I created, and I'm just going to create a big arc for myself. I'm going to use my align tools. I've got it set to align to artboard, and I'm going to center it on the page, on the artboard. And I'm just going to use the outline. And I'm going to, I wonder if my art is on the right layer. It is, good. Okay, so I'm just going to lock that guidelines layer. And I'm going to start, first I'm going to make a copy, because what if we screw it up? So we'll just option drag down. I'll unlock that. I'll option drag down. And it says anything that's locked won't come with. Okay, that's fine. We will unlock the background layer and just copy that and put it in the back. Lock it again. And I'm going to start adjusting down. Actually, I'll do it up here so I can see my sketch. I'll just double click in and start adjusting my angle. And what I'm going to do is I just direct selected those anchor points at the bottom of my E, and you can just shear those, not the whole shape. Isn't that cool? So I've got my shear on, and I'm going to hit shift to make it kind of go straight up, and I'm just going to angle it up like that. And I think I'm going to go shift down a few, and I'm going to move this whole E up because it's kind of low, and I want it actually to be touching that. So yeah, not easy. There we go. I know I wanted this to look spooky, but it's actually just looking
whimsical.
Like, yeah, whimsical.
Yeah, which I love
okay.
too.
It's cute.
It reminds me of something in the Page Master.
I love the Page Master.
Yeah, you do.
Oh my gosh, I love the Page Master so much.
You gonna sing the song?
Whatever you imagine. We don't make enough to buy the license for that, but
right. That's like a snippet. I think it's allowed.
Yeah, I think that's just so everyone knows that we're not professional singers.
Rob Johnston reporting live from my BS battery job.
Oh my gosh, Rob Johnston, what's up? He runs a cool podcast called Meet the Creatives, and he's out of New York. How cool. There's one thing about, even if you're having the worst life ever, if you get to tell people that you don't know that you live in New York, it's got to make you feel good, right? When we get to say we're from California, I'm like, doesn't matter. It makes me feel like it's not right. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not right. It's actually wrong. But it makes me feel like
special.
Yeah.
Like $1 million.
Why? Does that make sense? But maybe it's just because it's hard to live here. That's why. I feel like it's like a badge of honor that I'm making it.
Totally.
You can make it here. You can make it anywhere.
You can make it anywhere.
Except New York, because New York's some scary. So good on you, Rob.
Jesse Kirsch, you ever design work for letterpress printing? Because these would make some great prints.
I know. You know what? Actually, I was thinking, because we usually make the book art like able to be cut out so people can do, just like you said. Yeah, they can cut it out and make it into a print. But I also love letterpress prints, and I think I might. Who knows? If it turns out good, why not?
Also, Katsy and JJ were not annoying. Yay! Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Riki says, if anyone at work asks what I'm watching, I'm just going to pretend I'm listening only, LOL. Just like a podcast.
Exactly.
This is just a podcast.
I get a lot of work done when I watch stuff while I work. But it has to be something that you're kind of familiar with, which, Riki, we go way back. So you could totally concentrate. But like the X-Files, love.
Yeah.
Love watching the X-Files while I'm working. Yeah. What I'm going to do is... I think I'm gonna...
Oh, JJ says that shearing of anchors, exclamation point.
I know, isn't that such a cool trick? I know. I love all those kind of like cheat things that you just figure out by accident one day and you're like, this is a game changer. This is going to save me hours and so many tears.
Paul Transon, you literally took 2 seconds doing something I would have spent 2 hours figuring out how to do. And that is my whole life. I'm like, Amy, how? How? I show it to you 2 seconds later.
But that's just doing it for a long time.
Right.
To be honest.
Totally.
You know, it just like you have to do it. I spent so much time doing it by hand and then one day just accidentally stumbled upon like, oh my gosh, I can edit these individually, you know, and it's like, wow, my life is forever changed.
My life is forever changed.
So I have to cut that now, and I'm just going to, if I ever have to move something, I always move it a shift arrow one way or the other. If I have to move an anchor point that I know I need to get back perfectly in place. That way I can always get it right back where I need it to be without too much hassle and without the smart guides trying to take over. Okay, so I don't know if I like that now that I've done it, but maybe it's just because there needs to be more thin if we're going to do like a good Bodani look.
Riki says, I feel like being from California or New York just already makes you 10 times cooler.
People just know you've been through some stuff. You've seen some things.
And Cass F says, it's not easy, but it's not impossible.
Oh my God. Cass. Great callback. This is why I'm not a comedian, because I don't even hear it when it's happening, when it's right in front of me. That was amazing. All right, so what I'm going to do is double click.
Oh, Quiet Noise says it's actually looking like the older, more elegant Sister of Godmother title.
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is kind of looking like a Disney number. So that might not be readable. We'll see. I like the Art Nouveau style of like this swash kind of curls up and creates the crossbar, but it might just not be working. So we'll kind of just keep playing with it and see if we can make it work. We can force it. Can we do it?
Can it be done?
And I did scale up my E, so I just want to make sure that all of my strokes are the right size. So I think we're working on a one point stroke is what we're going with. Yes.
This is exciting though.
Yeah, it is getting somewhere, and I think I am just going to go ahead and keep going, even though that E is very illegible. We're just going to keep working on it and see if we can't make it work once we kind of get all of our forms. So sometimes if I know I'm going to shear something, but I might need it later, I'll just option drag a copy off to the side. That way I have it for later if I need to make another letter. And I'm going to get my shear tool. There it is. And I'm just going to shear. Whoa. Sometimes the shear tool has like a mind of its own.
Oh, Audrey says, what was the shearing anchors trick?
Okay, so the shearing anchors trick is like if, for example, I wanted to shear, ooh, I don't have a good example right now, actually. Let's see. We could do this E again. I'll do it down here. On this E, the base, I just want to shear the base of my shape. So I'm direct selecting just the anchor points on the bottom, and I'm clicking my shear tool, and I'm just shearing those ends, even though there's other anchor points on this shape. It's magic.
Amazing.
You can do it with curves, too. Like, if you want to scale a curve, like, it can be really helpful for that. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna, I need to shear this again, but I can just do the whole shape because it's
Riki says, the worst is when you figure out something by accident, but then you can't remember what random piece
You're like,
you
what did I
pressed to
click?
do it.
It happens a lot. What did I click that saved me so much time?
And then Crystal says, the TV show To Catch a Smuggler is so good to watch while you're working. Sometimes it makes you stop what you're doing, though, which sounds like Columbo. You always think, I can watch this while I'm working, and then you're like, wait, what did they do?
You're like, who murdered who?
And I always miss the first part, and then I end up like as lost as Columbo. I'm like, yeah, but how did they do it? Because I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, that's good. Oh, I'm not thinking here. Okay, but we can fix this. We can fix this. All right, that's the motto for everything is we can fix this.
Thanks, JJ, for your help explaining that.
This A has to be over, this A crossbar has to be over here.
Ooh.
Oh, that actually helps. Ooh. That is helping things, I think. This A I'm still not sure about, but you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, and we can always ditch it if we want to. But for now, we'll just keep it because
it's fun.
It's good to just kind of like get all your shapes, and then you can option drag and kind of make iterations. So I'm just going to, let's see, how do I get that little, I need a handle for that. Is that, oh, that is it, okay. So I just need to, sorry, this takes like utmost concentration. Okay.
So, as Aaron Draplin once said, this is Prax Cruise, vectors are free, so make copies.
Oh, and it's so true. I never delete. Never. I always option drag. I'm completely paranoid about losing something and having to do a bunch of extra work. My worst fear is wasted time. I don't know why, but it makes me furious.
Agreed. Don't like it.
Yeah, so if I can, I try to. Okay, so there's that. So actually, I am going to, I forgot who it was that suggested that we move the A up into this nice little counter kind of area that we've got, but I think I am going to do that because then it kind of reads better. It's starting to look like face, but we're going to, not phasey. We're just going to keep going though. We're going to keep going, and if we want, we can bring a different serif back in.
Andrew from Russia says, thank you for the priceless content. Hugs.
Hugs. Okay, for my S, I think I'm just going to try to draw this one with handles. We'll see how it goes. It's already wrong.
Take two. You're really good at this part, so I have faith in you, Amy.
Thank you so much. Okay, we're just going to go here because it's kind of awkward. It's got a lot going on here, and actually maybe that should be a little higher.
If anyone knows where a curve should be, it's Amy.
Oh man, explaining how to figure out where to put a handle can be really tough.
But when you had me do that map that one time, I always remember that.
Oh yeah, I was
great. Flying that day. Never again.
Never. Okay, so here's kind of where we're at. I should take that fill off because that's confusing. And I think what I'll do is I'll just now, then you just kind of adjust. You kind of use your direct select tool, your A, and you just kind of adjust the points and, tweak as you need. So I'm just going to option drag this over my S. I'm going to kind of put it in place here. It's going to need to, and it's probably going to go right there. And then I will just draw my Y thins right now, I think, so that we have that to kind of work with too. Then we can kind of get a firmer grasp on our composition. So I don't even know, normally I would just like reflect that angle of the Y, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe it'll be a little different because we're going weird on this, right? We're trying to make it look classic, but with a new spin. So I don't think the angles have to be perfectly matched. So there's that. And then I'm going to just draw this kind of weird swash that we've got going. And that's like not how I should draw it, but
okay. And we're gonna do a giveaway.
Ooh, yeah, let's do a giveaway. Let's give away a font license because then we can give it away to anyone internationally.
Anyone, anywhere.
Anywhere in the world.
So get your Google ready.
Cheat. We don't mind.
We don't care. Whoever gets in the chat first and answers this question gets the font license.
And you can use it on desktop. I think it has a little bit of web usage in there, so yeah.
I'm giving you all that minute to get your Google pulled up, your hands on the keyboard. Okay. The question is, what country for women's skateboarding won the gold medal?
The event was on Sunday.
It was on Sunday.
Hint.
Ready, steady, go!
Sun. while we're waiting, I'm just option dragging to create this width on the right hand side of my Y, and then I will extend that out. Oops. And just connect it.
No, it was not Brazil. It was Japan.
Yes. We thought Brazil was going to win.
Brazil was the silver medal. Okay, and the person is K Polygy 1. Oh, nope. Message redacted. So it's Jackson Fall.
You know what? If you both write in, you both win. Jackson, you almost have the whole set, so I'm excited. At whatever is left, you can have it. You might need a future credit for future fonts. Not to be confused with future fonts. The Foundry.
Yay. Okay. And you can email me, info@hoodzpahdesign.com, and I will send you the font link.
Of your choice. And let us know which one you want.
Oh my gosh, it's a freebie. It's a pick what you want. So that's exciting.
Okay, so here's kind of where this is at. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this stem. I'll just get rid of, I don't need that background shape, the big stem. I just need the serif actually. And I'm going to go ahead and group it in with my Y so these can all be together like a happy family. And I'm going to go ahead and do my little shear trick on my serifs to get it on that angle. And I can always arc it a bit later, but I think for our purposes, it's fine. And then maybe what I'll do is I will just, for pure cheat's sake, I will draw a line from here to here. Aha, that fills in that base. Because it was a little bit choppy. And then I think what I need to do on this Y right here, this connector area here, needs to go down a little lower. So I'm just direct selecting these 2 points. Have that go down a little lower. And I'm going to turn off my guide so you guys can see what's up because it's a little bit hard to see sometimes. And I'll turn off that. Okay, so it's definitely not reading as an E, but perhaps if we go ahead and bring back the stem, the bottom leg of our E, object, transform, reflect, and we'll just bring back this E and see if that doesn't help us. I'm just going to turn on my guide again, and I've got my base stem there, and I'm just going to shear it to match the path. And a little too far. And then what we'll do is we'll just cut it here and we'll connect it to this. This is kind of I'm not saying that this is the perfect way to do it, but for our purposes, it's not like I'm making a typeface. This is just a lettering piece, so I can be a little bit cheaty with it, I would say. Cheaty, I don't know if that's the right word, but I can cheat a little bit. And actually, it is kind of cool. So where these serifs cross, it does make kind of like a star almost, like a little shine, which was kind of like what I was thinking could be cool. So maybe that's cool. Maybe that works. Gonna go ahead and try and get this one last swash kind of like tied in, and then I think we'll call it a day and we'll pick this back up next week.
Okay, wait, Johnny Niddle, I had an idea. Fonzie, like font and Fonzie.
The Fonzie! Oh, I love the fonts. I was watching the CNN, I think it's called Sitcom, History of the Sitcom, and it was so interesting. Like, I love TV, I love pop culture, I love its effect on culture and people and how we think about things, and it's like such a good and like heartwarming watch. And the Fonz is on there, and all the classics. And I met Henry Winkler. I interviewed him for our local magazine, actually, and he stared into the depths of my soul. I swear I left that interview in love with that man. And it didn't matter that he was very much my senior. It went past age. We were cosmically connected. All right, so here's where we're at. I'll fix this S curve. It's a little bit awkward, but I can always kind of mess around with that a little later. Nothing worse than someone just like minutely moving pixels on a live stream. Okay, So that's kind of close. And I'll just go ahead and grab a serif for the top here of my Y. I'll grab it from this N. That's a good one to grab. And that'll go there. And then I'll grab one from the base of the T for the other side because that's a thicker stem. And I'll just rotate that. Make sure that they're both kind of the same area. And, oh, I think I'm accidentally moving. Yeah, I'm moving that all. And I'll just go ahead and take that out of that group and put it in my Y group so that everything's nice and like organized. And yeah, now it's just kind of direct selecting these little areas, and I can clean up some of those curves. I just direct selected and moved them for now, but once we kind of sleep on it, let it sit for a while, look at other things, forget all about it, and then come back to it, that's when things become super clear. So always give yourself time to just step back, step away, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then I'm just going to extend this Y up to meet. And do the same thing here. Cool. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, so I still need to do my thick stem on my S, but it's looking pretty good. Like, I like where it's going. What I might do to make it look scarier, if we do want to go that way, is I might turn it to orange. Orange on black immediately will make it look a little bit tougher. And we still haven't done our But Not Impossible font, so I can easily go ahead and like use that as a place to get a little bit more gritty, a little bit more edgy with the style of font. So maybe we'll do that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my erase tool to cut that. And I'm going to get rid of this N.
Paul Transon said you could use a star to hide this. But I don't know what that was referring to.
Ooh,
I missed it.
Let's hear it. Explain, Paul. This. What is this? Tell us.
What is this?
What is it? Let us know.
Maybe excellence Adigan? Maybe have the bottom leg of the E start off really thick at the stem and thin as it curves up to the foot of the A.
I'll have to think about that. I'll have to read it again.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to read it again and figure it out. But maybe the whole issue is just this connector here, and I'll have to kind of like play around with Y. Let's go ahead and get that. I should have option dragged that, but I have one down there, so let's get rid of that. And then if I can just double click in there, I'm going to Command J, join those points. Maybe if we got, that's already helping. Just not having that serif go, and then what I can do is just rotate this swash like this.
Like this. You put your lips
and then you gotta kiss it
like this.
Like this.
You
I love that TikTok. Yeah, that
That's
TikTok trend where like friends or siblings like they do like a movie quotes challenge, and like they'll say the movie, do a quote into the camera, and then go to their friend and be like, "I did this movie," and they have to do the same quote. It's only for the best of friends.
Or the best of sisters.
The best of friends or the best of sisters that watch all the same movies.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll do this. And what I can do is, I think for now, I'll just kind of have this over here. What I might do is just like figure out where that swash looks cool, and then figure out if it's too much or if it, you know what we could do maybe is just get rid of this and just keep this little area. We'll rotate him or her and kind of attach her there. Maybe like that. Maybe that's better.
Oh,
sometimes less is more, you know what I mean? What are we trying to complicate things for?
Precision,
I can connect
wow.
that later. Okay, that's still not it, but we'll fix it. We'll fix it and we'll figure it out. Maybe this just... But for now, I'm liking where this is going. So yeah, that's where we ended up. I think I will Command S, save. And I think we will call it a day, and
Maybe that's where the star would be.
it's totally a star. We're going to add some stars in. Maybe we'll adjust some of the arrangement, make sure it looks even, make sure it looks centered, and I'll fix that stem on the S. So join us next time, basically, is what I'm saying, because this ain't over. This ain't over, and we've got more to do. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. Katsy, Audrey, Ricky, JJ, everyone who tuned in, thanks so much. We had so much fun. I love working under pressure and having like direct feedback, and Jen hates giving me direct feedback. So thank you for being my Jen for today. Definitely tune in next time. Hit subscribe if you want to like get notified, and like the video if you liked it. Thanks so much for tuning in, y'all. We will catch you next time. Wishing you strong Wi-Fi and a full Netflix queue.